Yo, y'all are not gonna believe what just dropped in the streets of hip-hop. It's the kind of story that could change everything. We talking betrayal, FBI involvement, a hidden letter, and a secret so deep, it might just end Lil Durk's entire career. Yeah, you heard that right. Allegedly, a never-before-seen handwritten letter from the late King Von has surfaced, and insiders claim it's been sitting quietly in an evidence locker. Until now. But what's inside this letter has the internet in shambles. Rumors say Von laid out details about street politics, betrayals, and even left behind one final warning to Lil Durk himself. But here's where it gets crazy. Sources say the FBI just got their hands on it, and they ain't just reading it for fun. They've allegedly opened a new informal investigation into Durk, re-evaluating cases they claimed were closed. Fans are shocked, OTF insiders are panicking, and now Von's own family members are speaking out. Some saying this letter might be his final revenge. So the question is, what did King Von really write in that letter? And why is the FBI responding now? Stay locked in because the drama, it's just getting started. It all started with a cryptic Instagram story that barely lasted 20 minutes. An anonymous page with less than 500 followers posted a blurred image of what looked like a handwritten letter with the caption, "He ain't go silent, he spoke from the grave." Von ain't done yet. At first, no one paid it any mind. Fans thought it was another troll clout chasing off the legacy of King Von. But within an hour, the story caught fire. Pages started reposting, tagging Lil Durk, and suddenly, that same image was everywhere. Blogs, Twitter threads, even on Reddit conspiracy boards. And that's when the drama began. The letter, allegedly written by King Von just weeks before his death, is said to contain a raw, unfiltered message addressed directly to Lil Durk. No labels, no lawyers, just his truth, scribbled in pencil on lined notebook paper. The Post claimed the letter was retrieved during a quiet FBI seizure tied to an unrelated gang investigation. But somehow the letter got leaked. Insiders say someone within law enforcement passed it to a third party. Maybe for revenge, maybe for money. Nobody knows yet. But here's what really flipped the script. A retired Chicago police officer, known on the internet as Uncle Wallace, came forward in a YouTube live, confirming the letter was real. "I saw the original," he said. "It was part of a box they didn't even know had Von's name on it. It wasn't even logged in right. Somebody didn't want that letter found, but now it's out." Fans were stunned. Some thought it was a setup. Others believed this was King Von's way of speaking beyond the grave. The streets started buzzing. Old interviews of Von resurfaced. People picked apart lyrics, body language, and social media posts, hunting for any sign he might have felt betrayed. And then, people began asking the big question. What did Von really say in that letter? A snippet allegedly from the letter leaked next. No official confirmation, but the handwriting matched other verified Von notes. It read, "Don't let them lie on me. I seen it coming. If I don't make it out, just know I ain't scared. I just wish bro kept it real." He switched. Two words that set everything off. Fans took it as a direct shot at Lil Durk. Accusations flew online. Claims of betrayal, industry deals, jealousy, and silence. The same silence that Durk had always maintained when asked about Von's death. Back in 2020, after Von was killed in Atlanta, many noticed how quickly things went quiet between Durk and Von's family. Public condolences were posted. But behind the scenes, people close to the O-Block community whispered about tension. Von's sister, Kayla B., always defended Durk. But there were others, like his cousin Tonya, who questioned why Durk hadn't been more present. In a now resurfaced Facebook comment from 2021, Tonya wrote, "Durk moved on too fast. Von was his day one. Why he acting like it ain't hurt?" It didn't get much attention back then. But now, fans are pulling up every receipt, every interview, every silence, trying to piece the truth together. Then came the first real break. A new video leaked from inside a studio session, dated a month before Von's death. In the video, Von is seen talking to someone off camera, saying, "Man, everybody playing both sides. Can't even trust the ones I came up with." The camera shifts, and some say Durk was sitting on the couch, silent. Nobody knows if it was tension or just a random moment. But in the context of the letter, the internet ran with it. People started calling Durk a snake, saying he used Von's street image to fuel his own fame, then distanced himself when things got too hot. Of course, Durk's fans fired back hard. They said Von and Durk were like brothers. They claimed Durk had paid for Von's legal fees, supported his family, and kept his name alive in the music. And to be fair, Durk did shout out Von multiple times in his songs. But others argued, was that real love or just branding? Emotions ran high. Von's day one homies, guys like Boss Top and Muap, stayed mostly silent. But one anonymous source from O Block told a blog that Durk hadn't visited the block in over a year. He stopped coming around. We ain't seen him, he say O Block forever. But he out in Beverly Hills now. Then the FBI involvement came to light. That's when everything went from messy to downright explosive. An Atlanta journalist with ties to federal sources reported that the FBI had opened what they called a contextual file, not an official investigation, but a deep review of certain figures mentioned in the letter. And guess who was allegedly mentioned more than once? Lil Durk. The journalist said the feds were looking into past incidents. Not because they think Durk committed a crime directly, but because Von's letter supposedly references knowledge of things that were never made public. Things only someone on the inside would know. It's not about guilt, the journalist said. It's about what Von knew and who he believed was playing both sides. The FBI wants to know why he wrote that and what it could mean for other open cases. Meanwhile, Von's mother, Taisha, broke her silence. In an emotional Instagram live, she said, "I don't know what's true no more. I just want peace. If Von wrote that, I need to see it myself. All I know is he loved Durk like a brother." But her voice cracked when she said it. Fans noticed, and they started wondering, what did she mean by if? Some believe Tisha already knew about the letter, but was told to keep quiet. Others say she's being kept in the dark, just like the fans. Either way, the division within Von's circle became painfully clear. And then, just when things were starting to settle, the second page of the letter allegedly leaked. This time, it was longer, more detailed. And if it's real, it changes everything. The page read, "If anything happened to me, look at who went silent. Look at who stopped coming round. He knew what was going on. He ain't say nothing. I took heat that wasn't even mine." The internet lost its mind. The line, "I took heat that wasn't even mine," was dissected by bloggers and street insiders for hours. Was Von referring to a specific case? A beef? A setup? Nobody knows for sure. But one Chicago rapper, who asked to remain anonymous, told a hip-hop podcast, "Von ain't never right unless it meant something. If he said that, he meant somebody let him carry the weight for something he ain't do. And if that was Durk, that's heavy." Fans began posting side-by-side photos of Durk and Von, once inseparable, now caught in a storm of rumors, betrayal, and federal heat. Some felt sorry for Durk, saying he was being used as a scapegoat. Others were convinced he had secrets he was hiding. And while all this was going on, Durk stayed silent. No tweets, no stories, no comments, just a single black square posted to his Instagram with no caption. And that silence? It only made the fire grow hotter. As Lil Durk's silence stretched into days, the internet turned into a full-blown investigation unit. Fans weren't just commenting, they were digging. Old footage, Twitter spaces, Clubhouse audios, anything they could find that might show cracks in Durk and Von's brotherhood. But just when the story started to feel like it couldn't go any deeper, a new voice entered the mix. And this time, it wasn't a blogger or a fan page. It was T-Roy's sister, Latrice, someone who had known Von since they were kids, and who never really liked how close he got to Durk. In a surprise interview on a low-key podcast called War Stories of Chicago, Latrice didn't hold back. "I ain't surprised," she said bluntly. "Von was loyal to a fault, but loyalty ain't always returned. I remember times Von used to say, 'Man, I ride for folks more than they'd ride for me.' I ain't know he was talking about Durk, but now, I'm starting to think he was." The hosts pushed her for more. Was she confirming there was beef? Was she saying Durk had something to do with Von's death? Latrice took a breath. "I ain't saying he got him killed. I'm saying, when you silent at the wrong times, it feel like betrayal too." Von felt that. And if he really wrote that letter, then he probably died with that weight in his chest. The clip went viral overnight. Suddenly, everyone had a theory. Some said Durk and Von had drifted long before Atlanta. Others claimed it was deeper, that maybe Von was planning to branch out, form his own label, and break ties completely. There was even talk of an unreleased track, reportedly recorded just 2 weeks before Von died, where he allegedly rapped, "Fake love from them ones I fed." Got me thinking murder in my head. No one could find the song, but the lyrics spread like wildfire. Blogs posted mock covers. AI-generated leaks started popping up. Everyone wanted to believe Von had seen something coming, that he knew the streets weren't as loyal as he thought. And while fans were eating it up, behind the scenes, things were unraveling fast. A source from Von's old label reached out to a journalist, saying the FBI had now subpoenaed documents tied to one of Von's cases from 2018, the same case where rumors had once circled about someone close to him cooperating. No names were mentioned, but the timing lined up with the alleged statements in the letter. The feds weren't accusing anyone of snitching, yet, but they were allegedly re-examining the chain of events. And when it comes to federal investigations, re-examination often leads to new charges. Meanwhile, Durk's camp was in lockdown. His team sent quiet messages to multiple bloggers warning them not to repost the leaked letter pages unless they wanted legal smoke. But that didn't stop anything. In fact, it made fans more suspicious. If the letter was fake, why were lawyers getting involved? And then came the twist no one expected. A woman named Kia, who claimed to be Von's ex-girlfriend from before the fame, posted a TikTok video saying she recognized the handwriting in the letter. "That's Von's pen," she said. "I used to get lil notes from him in county. That's how he wrote. That's how he spelled. That's his slang." She showed old letters, love notes signed Vonnie, with the same crooked G's and long tails on the Y's. Handwriting analysts on Reddit began comparing fonts like they were solving a murder case. And the more they analyzed, the more it looked like the letter might really be real. The pressure kept building. Von's sister, Kayla B., who had been quiet through the whole drama, finally snapped during a Twitter space. Her voice was shaking as she shouted, "Y'all gonna stop playing with my brother's name. I don't care who y'all think y'all know. Von ain't never fold. And if he wrote that letter, it's 'cause he felt some type of way. But don't act like y'all know the whole story." She didn't name Durk. She didn't deny the letter. But her tone? It wasn't loyal. It was angry, confused, and fans noticed. They started calling it the Kayla crack, the moment Von's own blood stopped defending Durk like she used to. And then, Lil Reese entered the chat. Out of nowhere, the Chicago rapper posted a story with just one sentence. "The truth always spin the block." No explanation, no context. But to the internet, that was confirmation. Reese had been close to both Von and Durk. He'd kept a low profile since the letter rumors started. But now, he was hinting that more was coming. The blogs couldn't keep up. New theories dropped every hour. One said Durk had been warned by Atlanta shooters not to be at the club the night Von died. Another claimed a phone call existed. A call between Von and a mystery person days before his death, where Von allegedly said, "I'm about to cut ties." Nobody could confirm anything. But the damage was done. And then finally, after 10 days of silence, Lil Durk posted a cryptic message on his close friend's story. Only a few people saw it, but screenshots leaked fast. It read, "They want you to fold under fake pressure, but I know what's real." Some took it as denial. Others saw it as a subliminal shot back at Von's letter. Fans flooded the comments with snake emojis, broken heart gifs, and questions like, "Why you won't just say it ain't true?" But Durk stayed silent again. And it wasn't just fans feeling the heat. Brands were watching too. Rumors swirled that a major sneaker endorsement deal Durk had lined up for next quarter was now on hold, while the controversy settled. Hip-hop insiders said certain platforms were freezing promo slots tied to Durk's upcoming album. He was losing money. Fast, Von's former producer, someone who had worked on over a dozen unreleased tracks, did an Instagram live and dropped a bombshell. "Von told me he was writing some real song," he said. "Not just songs, letters, journals. He said if anything happened, he wanted the truth to live longer than the lies." He leaned closer to the camera. "This letter? It ain't the only one," the words from Von's producer. "This letter? It ain't the only one," hit the internet like a bomb. Within minutes, blogs ran with headlines claiming multiple letters exist. Von left a paper trail, and Durk might be next. Fans were already overwhelmed trying to piece together what was in the first 2 pages. Now the idea that there was more, that Von had written a whole series of letters before his death, turned the controversy into a frenzy. Then, as if on cue, another leak surfaced. This time, it didn't come from a fan page or a blog. It came from a locked Telegram group run by a former Chicago street figure turned YouTube personality. The channel, known for releasing uncensored street tapes and court documents, posted what they claimed was the 3rd page of King Von's letter. It wasn't polished, The paper looked wrinkled, stained, like it had been folded and passed through too many hands. But the handwriting matched, and the words? They hit different. The letter said, "I seen things I can't unsee. People I thought was gone right just watched. Played both sides. I kept my mouth closed for the team. But ain't nobody do the same when it was me." They talking about loyalty, but where they loyalty at when I was facing real time? When the news hit, they cried online but went ghost in real life. You're gonna see who really cared. If the first 2 pages were emotional, this one felt cold. Like Von wasn't just hurt, he was done. And then came the line that had fans screaming in the comments, "If something happened to me, don't let folks act like he was right there with me." 'Cause he wasn't, and he know that. Nobody needed to guess who he was. It was Durk, and for the first time, the letter felt like a final message. Not just to the fans, but to the world. King Von had died with a storm in his chest, and now that storm was pouring over everything Durk built. On Twitter, someone reposted the quote with a picture of Lil Durk on stage, staring at the sky, and wrote, "How do you perform knowing the ghost next to you think you fake?" The post went viral. Fans who had once screamed OTF for life started saying "Free Von's truth." Even people who weren't into the music were watching now. Mainstream news outlets picked up the story, calling it the most emotional feud in modern hip-hop. And social media analysts said it was the most engagement Durk's name had gotten since his chart-topping feature in 2023. But it wasn't the kind of attention anyone wanted. Back in Chicago, the O-Block community started to feel the pressure. Rumors began to swirl about inner tensions. One side standing with Durk, the other believing Von had been done wrong. One of Von's closest friends, Louis from St. Lawrence, posted a story saying, "Loyalty got a price, and some of y'all ain't paying it." Then came another unexpected twist. A clip leaked from a jailhouse phone call, allegedly from someone currently incarcerated who had once moved with both Von and Durk during the early OTF days. In the call, the man said, "Von was about to expose some real stunt before he died. That letter? That's just one. He had a whole notebook." He laughed quietly, then said, "They thought taking him out would stop it. But now it's all spilling anyway." That last line echoed through every platform. They thought taking him out would stop it. Was it just a figure of speech, or a hint that Von's death wasn't as random as it seemed? Fans were divided. Some said people were reaching, using grief for clout. Others felt like puzzle pieces were finally clicking, especially with Von's past track record of hinting at betrayal through music. People started dissecting the lyrics of unreleased snippets, like the one where he rapped, "Who told 'em where we was? Who ain't make the call?" Bars that now felt like cries for help, or worse, confessions of who he no longer trusted. But the biggest shock came during an Instagram Live between 2 female rappers from Atlanta, both of whom were loosely connected to the circle that night Von died. One of them, known online as Trina 2 times, said something that had fans spinning. "I remember when we all was at that little spot on Glenwood. Von was quiet that night, said he had something heavy on his mind, told Durk not to pull up, told him to sit this one out." The comments went crazy. Fans started asking, did Von really tell Durk to stay away from the club that night? And if so, why? Because if Von told him not to come, that changes everything. Especially when you remember the fact that Durk had previously faced legal issues in Atlanta. Maybe Von didn't want him involved. Maybe he was protecting him. Or maybe, just maybe, he already knew something wasn't right. Von's cousin Tonya reposted the clip and added just 2 words. Now it makes sense. The pressure on Lil Durk was reaching a boiling point. He still hadn't made an official statement. No interviews, no lives, but one of his close associates tweeted, "They gon' slander your name while you alive, then act confused when you dead and can't talk back." People assumed it was about Von. They were wrong. Because the very next day, an anonymous insider claimed that Durk was now planning to break his silence. Not through social media, but in music. Word on the street was that he was working on a surprise drop. A track recorded in LA the week all this started, reportedly titled, "Who Really Real?" No features, just him. Just his side of the story. This had fans losing it. People begged him to just speak plain instead of rapping. Others said they'd only believe what he said if he addressed the letter directly. Then came the leak of the alleged opening bars. "I seen him switch for a post and a trend, saying I was gone, but I ain't never bend. Said I left my brother. They don't know what I did. I kept my mouth closed. Now they dragging me for it. Raw, defensive, emotional. But was it enough? Some fans said it was finally time to hear Durk's version. Others called it damage control. One viral tweet read, "He got caught in a storm built by silence. Now he want to rap his way out." The internet felt like a war zone. People were choosing sides like it was a civil war of Chicago. And while this was all unfolding, another voice stepped forward. One nobody saw coming, Von's lawyer. In an unexpected tweet, he posted, "I have reason to believe King Von's final writings were removed from his property before it was handed to next of kin. Legal action is being considered." Fans gasped. Wait, removed by who? And if that's true, who has them now? With those words, the situation turned from emotional drama to potential legal warfare. Von's estate, his family, Durk's brand, the streets, everybody was now in deep. And there were still too many unanswered questions. The talk about a secret video from King Von had fans on edge for days. Everyone was wondering, if such footage existed, why hadn't it surfaced yet? And if it did surface, what would it say? The internet was flooded with speculation. Some said Von was ready to expose people who betrayed him. Others thought it might clear Lil Durk's name. But one thing was certain. This was the moment everyone was waiting for. And then, just when it seemed like the story couldn't get any more intense, the video leaked. Not on some shady forum or underground website, but on a verified fan page with over 1 million followers. The clip was raw, shaky, and personal. Von was sitting in what looked like a hotel room, his voice low but steady. He looked tired but determined. "If you watching this," Von said, "I hope you listen. Ain't no fakes on here. I been holding back too much. People close to me?" Some of them switched up. "Loyalty's a joke sometimes. I ain't trying to drag nobody for clout, but I gotta speak my truth." The video went viral instantly. Fans hit replay, dissecting every word, every look on Von's face. And then came the part that broke the internet. "Durk, if you really my brother, then why you silent? Why you let me carry this pain alone? I needed you, but you were gone. You said a block forever, but you was out there chasing dollars while I was in the trenches. I'm hurt, bro. And if I don't make it, I want the world to know who really had my back." Those words sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. It was the first time Von openly called out Lil Durk, not through songs or rumors, but face to face, even if it was from beyond the grave, and the reaction was immediate. Lil Durk's camp released a short statement within hours. "Durk loved Von like a brother, and always will. Some things are better left unsaid, but family comes first. We ask for respect and privacy during this difficult time, but the damage was done." Fans weren't satisfied with vague words. They wanted answers. Then came a bombshell from a close family friend of Von's. Someone who had seen the video before it leaked. They claimed the footage was edited. "There's more to that message than people know," they said. Von wanted Durk to hear everything. The love, the pain, the disappointment, but also the forgiveness. They revealed that in the uncut version, Von said something that could change the narrative entirely. "Durk, I know you had your reasons. Maybe you was scared. Maybe you was trying to protect us both. But I wish we could have talked. I'm not mad no more. Just hurt." This unexpected note of forgiveness stunned fans. It showed Von as human, torn between pain and love, and it added a new layer to the story. While the streets debated, Durk finally spoke directly on his Instagram Live for the first time since the letter leaked. His voice was raw, emotional, and real. "I ain't perfect," he said. "And yeah, maybe I wasn't there how I should have been. But Von was my brother, my family. I was scared too. Scared of what would happen if I got involved. Scared for his safety, for my safety. But I never stopped loving him. The letter hurt me more than anyone knows. But I respect Von for speaking his truth. Now it's time to heal." The fans were divided. Some praised Durk for his honesty and vulnerability. Others said it was too little, too late. The comment sections exploded. And then the family drama deepened. Von's sister, Kayla B, released a follow-up video that took a surprising turn. Instead of attacking Durk, she called for unity. "We lost too much already," she said. "This letter, this video, it's pain speaking. We gotta stop tearing each other down." Von wanted love, not war. The family was left divided, but a path to resolution seemed possible. Amidst the healing talks, an unexpected twist arrived from the FBI. After weeks of reviewing the letter, the notebooks, and Von's video, officials released a statement saying there was insufficient evidence to pursue any charges or investigations related to Lil Durk. The FBI emphasized that while Von's writings expressed deep feelings of betrayal, no criminal wrongdoing was found. This news shifted the narrative again. Durk's legal troubles appeared to be over, but the emotional scars remained. The streets, the fans, and the media were left asking, what now? Will Lil Durk fully clear his name? Will Von's legacy be defined by pain or forgiveness? And will the fractured family find peace? As this saga settles, one thing is clear. Loyalty in the hip-hop world is complicated, messy, and often heartbreaking. And now, it's your turn. What do you think about the letter? Did Lil Durk betray King Von? Or was this a tragic misunderstanding fueled by grief and fear? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if you want more deep dives like this. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a beat in hip-hop's most explosive stories. This drama isn't over. It's just beginning. So stay tuned, stay sharp, and keep your eyes peeled for what comes next. So now that you've heard the full story, the secret King Von letter, the FBI's involvement, the leaks, the heartbreak, and Lil Durk's first real response, what do you think? Was this letter the truth that could end Lil Durk's career? Or is it just another chapter in a complicated, painful saga of loyalty and loss? I want to hear from you. Drop your opinions down in the comments right now. Tell me, do you believe Von's words? Do you think Durk stayed silent because of fear, betrayal, or something else? Or maybe there's a side no one's talking about? Your voice matters. And this community is here to unpack it all. If you're feeling the heat of this story and want to stay on top of every update, every leak, and every jaw-dropping twist, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. We'll be breaking down every detail as it drops, giving you the real, raw, and unfiltered scoop the mainstream won't cover. And hey, if you know someone who's been following this drama, or who's just obsessed with hip-hop's biggest controversies, share this video with them. Let's get the conversation going, because this story, it's bigger than just music. It's about family, loyalty, and the cost of silence. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned, stay smart, and stay ready for whatever this crazy world throws at us next.